Assignment operators are used for many reasons in programming. Counting is one example. In fact, it's used so often that there is a special way to represent when a variable needs to be increased or decreased by the value of 1. These operators are called increment and decrement operators. So plus plus, this will increase the variable by 1. So if the variable identifier is I, if you write I plus plus, that's the same thing as I equals I plus 1. And then we have minus minus, this will decrease the variable by 1. So I minus minus is the same thing as I equals I minus 1. Important note, there are two ways to use these operators. You can put the plus signs after the variable or before. However, even though their increment effect will have the same result, they are not equivalent, and we'll go over that later. The reason we are using I in these examples is because I is very commonly used as an incremental counter during loops, which we'll learn later on. These operators would work for any variable. So here, we've declared variable I and assigned it a value of 0. Then we have this statement, I plus plus semicolon. That takes I and adds 1. So now we have an I value of 1. Here, we've written plus plus I, which does this similar thing. We end up with an I value of 2. And then we will print it, and it prints 2. Sometimes we'll want to count down during loops. Here's what that would look like. Here we begin with our counter variable I equal to 10, and then we have I minus minus, so our new value of I is 9. Then minus minus I does a similar thing. We end up with an I value of 8. You could keep going, but at this point we'll just print I, and we print an 8. There is one major difference between using I++ and ++I, despite the fact that they mathematically perform the same operation. So here in this example, the code will first assign a value of 0 to I. Then it will print that value 0 to the terminal window. Afterwards, it will add 1 to I, leaving us with a variable I that has a value of 1, but that won't print. So first it prints the value of I, which is 0, and then afterwards it increments I. If we place the two plus signs before the I, something different happens. The code still assigns a value of 0 to I, but then it will add 1 to I prior to printing, giving I the value of 1. Then it will print the new value, 1, to the terminal window. Depending on how you write your programs and what your desired results will be, you can use whichever method works better for you. Examine the two code segments below. What will be the output of each? Alright, here we have int x equals 2. Then, because the plus signs are in front of the x, first we're going to increment it to 3 and then print. So this will print a 3. Here, we have int y equals 5, and we have the plus signs after the y. Therefore, first it's going to print a 5, and then after the statement is executed, y will have a value of 6. So we have 3 and 5. Over here, first the computer will add 1 to x, giving x a new value of 3. Then the computer will print the value of x, which is 3. Over here, first the computer will print the current value of y, which is 5. Then the computer will add 1 to y, giving y a new value of 6.